Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Shrimata Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantastoya Bhadrani Vidhunoti Surhitsatam Nashtu Prayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 18, Text number 8. Nunam tavirudah kshina mai kalena bhuyasa tatra yogena drashtena bhavana datumarhati. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Due to being stalked for a very long time, all the grain seeds within me have certainly deteriorated. Therefore, you should immediately arrange to take these seeds out by the standard process, which is recommended by the Acharyas or Shastras. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When there is a scarcity of grain, the government should follow the method prescribed in the Shastra and approved by the acharyas. Thus, there will be a sufficient production of grains and food scarcity, and famine can be checked. Bhagavad Gita recommends that we perform yajna or sacrifices. By the performance of yajna, sufficient clouds gather in the sky, and when there are sufficient clouds, there is a sufficient rainfall. In this way, agricultural matters can be taken care of. When there is a sufficient grain production, the general populace eats the grains, and animals like cows, goats, and other domestic animals eat the grasses and grains too, or grains also. According to this arrangement, human beings should perform the sacrifices recommended in the Shastras, and if they do so, there will be no longer be food scarcity. In Kali Yuga, only sacrifice recommended is Sankirtan Yajna. In this verse, there are two significant words, yogena, by the approved method, and drastena, and exemplified by the former acharyas. One is mistaken if he thinks that by applying modern mechanic machines such as tractors, grains can be produced. If one goes to desert and uses a tractor, there is still no possibility of producing grains. We may only we may adopt various means, but it is essential to know that the planet Earth will stop producing grains if sacrifices are not performed. The earth has already explained that because non devotees are enjoying the production of food, she has reserved food seeds for the performance of sacrifice. Now, of course, atheists will not believe in the spiritual method of producing grains, but whether they believe or not, the fact remains that we are not independent to produce grain by mechanical means. As far as the approved method is concerned, it is enjoined in the Shastras that intelligent man in age will take to the Sankirtan movement, and by so doing they shall worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, whose bodily complexion is golden and who is always accompanied by his confidential devotees to preach this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. In its present condition, the world can only be saved by introducing this Sankirtan, this Krishna consciousness movement. As we have learned from the previous verse, one who is not Krishna consciousness, one who is not in Krishna consciousness is considered a thief, even though he may be materially very advanced. A thief cannot be placed in a comfortable position. A thief is a thief and he is punishable because people are without Krishna consciousness. They have become thieves and consequently they are being punished by the laws of material nature. No one can check this. not even by introducing so many relief funds and humanitarian situations. Unless the people of the world take to Krishna consciousness, there will be a scarcity of food and much suffering. नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Assembled Vaishnavas, for giving me this opportunity to speak for my own purification. I will summarize today's verse from the uh, commentary by senior acharyas and purports by Srila Prabhupada. Please forgive me if I add my own meaning or interpretation to this. So here in this verse, um, Mother Cow is asking King Prithu that he needs to take the seeds from her by method which is recommended by Acharya or Shastras. And here the message is that we are not independent to produce grain by mechanical means. So, what is that method that prescribed by Acharyas and Shastras and Bhagavad Gita recommends that we perform yajna or sacrifices. So the demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of air, light, water, and all other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in a different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yajna by the human beings. So some of the yajnas are meant to satisfy particular demigods, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yajnas as the chief beneficiary. It is also stated in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all kinds of yajnas. When these yajnas are perfectly performed, naturally the demigods in charge of the different departments of the supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in supply of natural products. So Mother Earth is also one of the demigod, as we saw in the earlier chapter. That she is one of the demigod and beneficiary of the sacrifices performed by humans. So um, in today's world, um, if there is a scarcity of the food and other things, it's because the yajnas are not performed properly, and Mother Earth is also one of the demigod. She is not getting her share of the from the yajnas, and that also affects the production of the grains and other things. Now, the performance of yajna has a many side benefits. Ultimately, but the ultimately benefit is that the liberation from the material bondage. So, by performance of yajna, all activities become purified. In Vedas, it is stated that ahara shuddha, sattva shuddha, dhruva smriti, smriti lambhe sarva granthinam vipramokshaha. So by performance of yajna, one's eatables become sanctified because we take prasad after offering to the Lord. And by eating sanctified foodstuff, one's very extensive existence becomes purified. By purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified. And when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And all this combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, which is the great necessity of the present day society. So, for the prescribed in Kali Yuga, prescribed sacrifice in age of Kali is a Nam Sankirtan Yajna. In this present condition, the world can only be saved by introducing this Sankirtan Yajna. this Krishna consciousness movement. One who is not in Krishna consciousness is considered a thief because even though he may be well to do or richest person in the world, but if he's not Krishna consciousness or God consciousness, that means he's using all resources for his own sense enjoyment rather than as a service to the Lord. And that in that case, this all these benefits are given by Lord, and by not offering or being thankless to him is like a thief stealing from somebody, and the thief always get punished. And that's why even the most opulent and rich people are also suffering because they are not God conscious. Now it is said that one who eats food not offered to Krishna is only eating sins, and then repercussion for that is very adverse. By performance of yajna, the conditioned souls they gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all respects. In age of Kali, the Sankirtan yajna, which is chanting of the names of the God, is recommended by the Vedic scriptures. And this transcendental system was introduced by Lord Chaitanya himself for the deliverance of all the men in this age. Sankirtan Yagya and Krishna consciousness go very well together. Lord Krishna, in his devotional form as Lord Chaitanya, is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam in a below verse. Krishna Varnam Tviksha Tvisha Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagnai Sankirtana Prayer Yagnati Sumedasha. In this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associates by performance of Sankirtan Yagya. Now, other yagnas yes, prescribed in the Vedic literatures are not easy to perform in this age of Kali because to perform a proper yagya, you need a proper ingredients, and in age of Kali all the ingredients are contaminated. For second thing you need is the a pious place, and in age of Kali most of the places are also contaminated. And then third you need is brahmanas who can properly pronounce the uh, all the Vedic mantras. And in age of Kali again, even brahmanas are contaminated. They are not learned enough to accurately pronounce all the mantras. And the fourth thing is the host or the arranger. I mean, should use the money earned through the proper means and things differently like that, which is also contaminated. So even if we try to do any yagya, it will always be contaminated. Imagine that when Lord Vishwamitra in Ramayana, when he was doing, or rishis, they were doing fire sacrifices, and these demons were putting small things like blood or some other contaminated stuff, and their whole yagya was ruined. Imagine we are doing yagyas with all these contaminated things in ingredients and different ways, so we will not get the benefit of it. So then what is the solution? Then the easiest way for us to do is Sankirtan Yagya, which is easy and sublime for all purposes. So, because people are without Krishna consciousness, now they have become thieves, and consequently, they are being punished by the laws of material nature. No one can check this, not even by introducing so many relief funds and humanitarian institutions can help the problem of the foods and grains and scarcity that the world is facing. And people are and using that means to move towards eating meat and killing animals for sense gratification, and or they are forcefully killing animals just to control the population, which is not the right way to handle this situation. The best way to do is to do fire sacrifices and sankirtan yagya. So, unless the people of the world take to Krishna consciousness, there will be a scarcity of food and much suffering coming. So for us, if you want to do some humanitarian effort, or for the benefit of the people, the only thing we can do is we can spread the Krishna conscious movement, spread the Sankirtan Yagya. That will benefit everyone. This I like to conclude the summary. Please forgive me if I add my own meaning or interpretation to this. Hare Krishna.